So, how do we handle the paradox that to be kind of fully our best, most blissful selves, we have to have a very strong sense of presence, a level of contentment with the present moment, a level of mindfulness with the here and now. And yet, also, when we think of our most realized selves, we visualize ourselves doing amazing, impactful, aligned things sometime in the future. So there's kind of this inborn contradiction, isn't there, between being absolutely present and yet also simultaneously being focused on something on the horizon that excites you. Okay. Now, I've seen this paradox articulated in a really interesting way by Vishen Lakhiani, the founder of Mind Valley, in his book, Code of the Extraordinary Mind. And it's this concept he has in there called bending reality. Now, take a look at this grid of four quadrants. I love how this helps unpack this paradox I was just describing. Okay. So, on the one hand, like, look, I'm the purpose lab guy, right? So, on the one hand, I'm all about engineering and nurturing this vision of yourself, of your full potential self in the future, embodying something on the horizon, having a sense of excitement and vision for the future. And yet, I'm also the mindfulness guy, the breath work, the meditation guy. So I'm also always messaging about coming into your grounded present moment, relaxing into spaciousness, releasing thoughts, et cetera, et cetera. And so how can those two coexist? I think this graph does a good job of unpacking how these things coexist and how they work together. Okay. So we've got two axes here, right? We've got this horizontal axis, which is the vision for the future. Now, the farther you get to the right, the more higher, the more intense, the more vivid vision you have of the future for yourself. That vertical axis is your happiness level in the present moment. Okay. So the higher you get, the more happy, the more content you are with present moment, present reality. Okay. So, and by taking those two grids and then dividing it into these quadrants, we can kind of unpack different combinations of these. So, all right. So I think the easiest one to see right off the bat is that first one, which is the negative spiral. So if you have a very, very low level of happiness with your present life and low or no vision for the future, you're in what we call the negative spiral. In other words, you don't really see a way to be comfortable right here, right now, in your life, in your body, even. But you also don't see a pathway out, right? You also don't see a way out because there's no vision for the future. This is a negative spiral. Obviously, a very dangerous place to be. Okay. But let's kind of keep the happiness level low and assume, okay, I feel really stuck and unhappy right now, but I do have a high level of vision for the future. Notice what that quadrant's called: stress and anxiety. Does that make sense? Why stress and anxiety? Because it feels like you should be somewhere else instead of where you are now. Okay? This is the source of friction, of tension, of anxiety that you're going to feel if you're in that quadrant. Okay, let's swing back over and let's say it's high level of happiness in this present moment with your current life, but not really too concerned with the future. This is what Vishen calls the current reality trap. Now, is it bad to feel contentment and happiness and bliss in the present moment? Absolutely not. But if you don't also have the wisdom and the understanding and the realization and the embodiment that everything is ephemeral, that everything is temporary and illusory, then that's when it becomes a trap, because you're going to build your happiness on shifting sand, right? This is the current reality trap. And it's interesting. I've had the privilege and honor to be around a lot of very, I would say, highly awakened and realized spiritual teachers and masters. And although one common trait that they have is this ability of presence, you just feel it, right? Every single one that I've met that I put in this category also has some vision that is fueling them. They're also always moving towards something big. Now, the more realized they are, the more altruistic that vision and project tends to be, but it is something there that's fueling them. It's a gravity that's kind of pulling them forward. So don't think that the current reality trap grid, it's like, well, isn't that where like, the masters and the gurus live? I don't think they do. I think the masters and the gurus and the teachers and the sages are able to, yes, fully embody the present moment and be comfortable and content within it, but at the same time, know that this experience we're having is a co creation. And it's also their responsibility to co create. So we must have this vision for the future. Okay. Now, there are a lot of ways that we can sort of move around these grids. And so, depending on where you're stuck right now, could be the tool or practice that you need to focus on. There are a lot of ways to get present. I teach a lot of them. I create videos for you about them. Breathwork methods that bring us back into our body, that quiet the mind and bring us back here somatically. Mindfulness, breathing techniques, awareness and visualization methods that bring us back into the present moment. And at the same time, I also have a whole toolbox of purpose work tools that's going to help us if we're feeling stuck, not able to see into the future, that help us visualize and feel into the future that we want to embody from the inside out. So you have to kind of just be honest with yourself and ask yourself, where are you stuck right now? And there is actually a nice quiz that Vishen provides here to kind of assess, like, where are you on these quadrants. So it's short enough that I'm gonna read you the questions here, and let's just get a piece of paper and something to write with. Write 1 through 8. There's 8 simple questions, and for each question that I'm gonna read, there's 3 options. Put a number 1, which means not at all true. Put a number 2, which means it's sometimes true, or put a number 3, which means it's very true. Okay? So 1, not true at all. 2, sometimes true. 3, very true. Okay? Question 1. I love my current job to the point where it does not feel like work. 1, 2, or 3. Question 2. My work feels meaningful to me. 1, 2, or 3. How true is that for you? Number 3. There are often moments at work that make me so happy the time just flies by. 1, not at all. 2, sometimes. 3, that's very true. And number 4, when things go wrong, I don't worry at all. I just know something good is on the horizon. Interesting. Okay. So questions 1 through 4 kind of relate, figured this out, I'm sure, to your level of happiness in the now. And I know the questions were kind of focused on your work, and you don't have to think in terms of job work, but you could, just to test that variable as well. But how did you score yourself there? So there were 4 questions. The max you could have had is 4 times 3, 12. So out of 12, where were you in the happiness in the now scale? Maybe you draw a little version of the graph, and just, if 12 were the very top, just plot yourself where you would be there. Okay. And then let's cross check it with the next 4 questions, which are going to be related to your vision for the future. All right. Number 5, I feel excited about my future, knowing even better things are always on their way. 1, again, not at all. 2, sometimes that's true. 3, that's very true. 6, number 6, stress and anxiety don't seem to faze me much. I trust in my ability to attain my goals. Okay. Is that a 1, 2, or 3 for you? Number 7, I look forward to the future because I have unique and bold goals on the horizon. I look forward to the future. Is that not at all true for you? Is it sometimes are somewhat true for you, or is it very true for you right now? Okay. Final question, number 8. I spend a good amount of time thinking excitedly about my visions for the future. I'll repeat, I spend a good amount of time thinking excitedly about my visions for the future. Give yourself a 1, 2, or 3. Okay. And then again, add up your total for 5, 6, 7, and 8. 4 questions. 12 would be your max score. What did you get out of 12 for that? That's your vision of the future. Again, I invite you to just plot that. Draw yourself a little version of the graph and plot out of 12 where you are for vision for the future, plot where you are in happiness in the now, and then just connect those two and just see where you are on those 4 quadrants, just as a level of awareness, a level of self-awareness that can help you take the right actions to move forward and see what's next. Let me know in the comments how this went for you, where you see yourself on the quadrants, and what ideas you have for moving to where you want to go in the quadrants. All right. I look forward to hearing from you.